So, we're going to talk about science. We're not actually going to do science. We're just going to talk about doing it. And, certainly we like to say today that the battle is over what science tells us. And that's true. But there's also a variety of ways of understanding what science is. And there's a debate or a discussion which can legitimately go on through some type of philosophical discourse about what science actually is. And that's what we're going to do. Science basically started with one of those, and some of those planetary and stellar bodies, and we looked in and saw matter in motion, which could be very easily described and predicted with mathematical formulations and calculus and geometry. And so, based on this observation, the first scientists, the first celestial mechanics of the universe looked through their telescope and said that the universe, the cosmos, is matter in motion, based on deterministic laws. And it's true. I mean, when you look through one of those telescopes, it's basically what you're going to see. Matter in motion, based on certain laws, which with accurate measurement of the phenomenon itself can be pretty easily, if you're a mathematician at least, derived from the observation. But what happens when you turn the lens of scientific observation back down to Earth? I mean, let's sort of hop over life for a second. Let's go straight through the biosphere, right to the minerals, the atoms, the subatomic particles. What does physics tell us? In other words, turn that into a microscope, and well, we don't know quite what we've found yet. I mean, we've grabbed a hold of the tail of some creature, and we're pulling ourselves down this tunnel. And we talk about atoms and quarks and spins and gluons and the Higgs field and these abstract, unobservable in principle entities which we infer from the behavior of our measuring devices, our experiments. We've never actually seen or felt or heard any of these things. I mean, they're there. We're made of whatever this stuff is that we're grabbing a hold of and trying to chase down, but we haven't quite found what it is yet. Maybe the Large Hadron Collider, or whatever it's called, will find the answer, that we're all vibrating filaments of energy in 11 dimensions of space and time. That's interesting and beautiful and wonderful, but I have no idea what it could possibly mean in regards to my life and your life and our life and planet Earth and all the problems we face as a civilization. It seems almost like, and what's next? Is that the theory of everything? Well, what's it gonna do for us? It might do something for us. I'm not saying it won't or it can't, but what is it gonna do for us? Of course, we can go back to turning the lens of science on biology, and when we do that, we find well, matter isn't just stuff in motion based on deterministic laws anymore. We can try really hard to look at it like that, avoiding or ignoring a lot of other stuff going on and just focusing on the genes to say, yeah, there's the mechanism, there's the causal force, there's the information that's really being exchanged, the energy being sort of handed to the motion of other particles through space. But we have to ignore most of biology to retain this deterministic, mechanistic view of biology. When we pay attention to its historical content, the fact that its history is contingent, its evolutionary phylogenetic path through deep time, we're talking billions of years, is unpredictable. There are too many variables occurring at the same time for you to understand what is going on or explain what is going on. Because just practically speaking, how can you measure what you are? And this is why biology is an impossible science. Or at least, if we're going to talk about it, we have to reinterpret what science is. The lens of observation has been turned upon itself, and there's a whole spectrum of color sprayed out from this recursion of the lens of the observer. And it's a phenomenon that we could, with a bit of trouble, ignore, but that I think if we are willing to risk some of our dogmas, our scientific dogmas, I think we can understand this realm just as rationally as we did and do think we do, at least, the sky and the atomic, subatomic world. Even though, because of our own nature as observers, we're realizing that our cosmology, if dark energy eventually does carry all galaxies so far away from one another that no light can ever travel the distance, such that, in a few billion years, any civilization living on a planet in our galaxy will see just dark, empty blackness when it looks out of the Milky Way, and so could have no ability to understand what actually happened. You could never reach the truth. What does that mean about physics? And when we, talk about quantum physics at the subatomic scale, the opposite side of the cosmic spectrum, we don't understand what the hell is going on down there either, because of our nature as observational beings. It's requiring a whole shift in what the concept of science could mean, or what knowledge could mean, because we're calling ourselves as observers into question. So all of a sudden doing science requires a bit of transformation on the part of the observer. It's not just a passive act anymore. It's now an active moral undertaking, so facts and values can no longer easily be separated anymore. Not if science is going to understand life. If science is going to understand machines, the mathematically lawful motion of matter through space, all based on axioms, not experiential realities or actualities, but on axioms, assumptions, constructs. If we want to do that kind of science, then we can ignore life and values and morality. But if we want to understand life scientifically, science must in a sense transform, like, a caterpillar into a butterfly, because it's observing itself, and through that observation will transform itself. And this is what technology is, but there's a subtler form of technology. It's more embodied. It's the organism organizing itself rather than appropriating some machine that is built for itself. Not that there's anything wrong with appropriating machines that you've built for yourself, but you can also do it endogenously. You are a machine, like no other machine is a machine. Except maybe this camera. But, you know, who's the camera? I mean, where is this image really being displayed?